Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, I'm Anna. I'm a little bit spooky, and today we're doing some springtime glam. Ugh. And today we're doing some springtime glam. This is the look I came up with. I'm obsessed with the lip right now. I'm into it. And yeah, we're just using some of my favorite products for this time of year. Things that I've been reaching for a lot and I'm really enjoying. So yeah, if that interests you, just go ahead and keep on watching. But before you do, don't forget to like and subscribe. Comment down below. Let me know some of your favorite spring makeup trends, makeup looks. I love to hear from you guys. So yeah, without further ado, let's get into the makeup. My foundation is already on and my brows. And the only reason my foundation is already on is just because I had to demo it for another video. But it is the Revlon Illuminates foundation that has squalane hyaluronic acid, and I have the shade 105. Lightest shade, very pale for you ghostly girl over here. But yeah, anyway, I want to do some springy makeup and show you some of the things that I've been reaching for at this current time and space, or whatever you want to say. I've been kind of bouncing between like 3 foundations, and I've been testing a lot of foundations, but my go-tos lately have been the True Match Nude from L'Oreal and the Tinted Hydrator from Wet n Wild. These two have been my go-tos that I've reached for on a daily basis, but I am testing out the Revlon one currently. And if I wasn't doing that wear test, I would be putting on my Woe Glow from e.l.f. probably. I've been alternating between this and my Dermalogica SPF for when I'm actually leaving the house out and about during the day. But this is beautiful, super glowy, super duper glowy. It kind of can take the place of Flawless Filter or a glow enhancing product like that. So that's been just kind of what I've been reaching for the base. And every day I've been prepping my skin with my normal skincare, but after the skincare's kind of set down for a while and I get in here, it's usually a couple hours, at least a couple hours later by the time I sit down and do my makeup. And I've been really prepping the skin with the Bobbi Brown Vitamin Rich Face Base as well. I just do the SPF and then let that set for a little bit, like 5 minutes, going with the Bobbi Brown and then my foundation. Okay, did that make any sense? I don't know. But anyway, now I've been alternating how I do my contour lately, either going between doing kind of an underpainting technique. Yeah, I've been kind of into doing that where you do your contour first, your cream contour, but today we're just gonna go ahead and do the cream contour over top because I've already done my foundation and I didn't want to mess up the demo with already having contour on because it looks kind of odd. So I'm going to take my little e.l.f. putty brush here. I like to use this one for contouring. And just take a little bit of the Patrick Ta and She's Statuesque. It's the Contour Bronze Palette. And I bounce between contour products. It's either this e.l.f. putty bronzer or the Fenty Amber, the cream bronzer. As far as my cream products go, it's usually between those 3. And I'm trying to keep the bronzer kind of high up on the face. Get a little bit of lift to right here where I need it. I'm gonna bring it up because that's where my natural shadow falls on my face. And we'll do a little bit here. Along the hairline. This is kind of my everyday but elevated makeup. Like, taking the extra time to do the contour and everything, but I don't want to look like I have too much product on or too much makeup on, but I want it to be very perfected. This is the vibe for right now. Minimize that big ass jaw of mine. Take a little bit right here. I have been also kind of taming my brows down a little bit thinner. I like the way it looks. It's just a kind of a mood I'm in right now. Alright, I'm going to grab a smaller brush. Contour on the lips. You're probably thinking, my gosh, has a lot of contour. It's not blended. I'm going to blend. Just a minute. If I want this to look like just super natural, That's when I would do the underpainting method. But as long as you blend really well, it looks fine. So I'm going to take this was the brush I used to apply my foundation initially. I'm just going to take it and kind of pounce around those edges and get that blended in. Just warm the skin up as well. That's what I do like about the tone of the Patrick Ta one, is because it's got just a kiss of warmth in there. So it's not so gray. I think it's just a very flattering tone. Alright, and I can also take a sponge if I really want to press everything in. With that Revlon foundation, I actually prefer it with a sponge. Even though you do lose a bit of coverage, it just sits prettier on the skin. And now I'm also testing a concealer. I'm testing out the Huda Luminous Matte Concealer. So that's what we're going to use today. But the concealer I've really been like reaching for quite a bit is the Milk Makeup Future Fluid. Love that one. But also I've been playing with the IRL Filter Concealer. I think it's really, really nice. This is what the Makeup Revolution IRL Filter Finish Concealer. I think it's a nice one. I really like it, and I've been playing around with it quite a bit. And the Makeup Revolution Bright Eyes for like some really a bit lighter, glowier coverage. Beautiful product. I really enjoy it as well. Both wear really well on me. And I've already spoke about how much I like the Milk Future Fluid. So I am currently testing the Faux Filter Concealer from Huda. So we're going to just go ahead and apply that because it's just what I'm currently working with. I have worn it a few times. I kind of have my thoughts already, but I just want to just play it a little longer to fully form my opinion, and small amounts with this guy. Like, doop, doop. That is it. It is very full coverage. And it is like a luminous matte finish. I'm taking the Dual Complexion Sponge from e.l.f. Dual Complexion Brush, just to kind of spread that out. Take the sponge and just pat it in. But it's definitely a very full coverage product, so I just use a teensy bit, and that is plenty. If I need more, I'll kind of add it in certain areas, like maybe like right there where I do have that bone. And I work in sections with this one because it does kind of set down. Gives me a little more playtime if I kind of work in sections. And I've been really into doing my concealer after my cream contour and cream bronzer. I feel like you can kind of clean up anywhere that you might have applied too much or went up too far down, went too high, too low with it. This shade is also probably a little light on me. It is the whipped cream shade. But it is very brightening. And I'm going to take just a tiny bit. There. Here. Eyes watering, of course. Touch on the chin. This one I do eyes first, just because I always get like complexion products near my eyes too close, and it makes them water. Alright, I'm taking a little bit of the concealer just on my hand and into this little brush, and just going to run a little bit right there. Okay, I'm back. I had to let my eye calm down. It was watering so bad. I had to like kind of touch up around it. I don't know what happened there. It's just been getting really watery lately, this one eye. It's been giving me hell, especially from doing my foundation first. So, and like complexion first. I don't know what it is. Like, I've always kind of had that issue, but for a while I wasn't having that problem. Now it's back. I don't know. So something disagrees there. Alright, now just making sure that I have everything is just right here. We set all this down. Set my under eyes. I'm going to use the Halo Glow setting powder in light pink, I think is what this shade is. Yes, light pink. And I'm just going to take some in the cap. And I'm going to put a little bit onto my sponge here. Really kind of work it off on the back of my hand a bit, so there's no excess on there. Just pat that in. on the under eye. Make sure there's no creases first. Just make sure my T-zone is good and set. My chin. I love this powder. It sets, but you still have glow. It's still one of my #1 powders. I've been using it for like over a year now. Couple of years. Long time, and it's such a good powder. I think I started using it when it first came out. It just wasn't like a hyped product to begin with when it first launched, but now like everybody's into it. Really make sure everything is set around this region. That is a bit of a... that foundation doesn't set down, so you do kind of have to really be mindful of it. Alright, I'm going to dust a little bit around the rest of the face on a big brush. There's not a ton of powder on this. Just enough to get a nice light setting where nothing feels tacky. Such a good powder. It really is. Alright, and my bronzer, I do bounce between bronzers, but lately it's been the Patrick Ta one that I've been really going for as far as my powder bronze goes. I really enjoy the tone of it right now. I did use NARS Laguna the other day and loved that one as well. So I've been kind of reaching for it a little bit, but mine's a mini and it kind of falls down in my box over here that I have like what I've been reaching for lately, so I kind of forget about it. And I just keep grabbing the Patrick Ta. Because I mean, I do love, this is one of my favorite bronzing contour products. I'm going to take the bronzer just around where I did use that cream contour and just really warm things up. And it helps set it down. And you get good longevity from your makeup this way by layering your creams and your powders in light layers. And with the weather warming up, I'm having to go in a little bit more powder than usual because I get a little more glowy. I live in a pretty humid climate as it is, so even when my skin was dry, I still was a little glowy, whether I wanted to be or not. But I lean into the glow. Like I'm combo lean oily these days. I just lean into it. I don't fight it no more. It's just my skin, and I just like glowy skin. I don't even care if I'm oily. I just kind of control the oil in the T-zone. The rest of the face, whatever. I love putting some bronzer and contour right there. I think it looks so nice. A little around the nosy. And I'm doing very intentional. Even though it looks kind of haphazard, I'm just kind of working fast. But I'm being very conscious not to disturb anything underneath. I think that looks really pretty. Very springy, very glowy, and yeah, this is the kind of skin I love. It's fresh, it's bronzy-ish, but it's glowy. Doesn't look like a ton of makeup. And for a good measure, I'll just tap over my sponge. Make sure everything's looking blended. Absolutely obsessed with two blushes lately. Milani Luminoso. I talked about this in a recent favorites type video. I am so back in love with Luminoso. Perfect spring blush, by the way. Chef's kiss. Such a gorgeous product. And a new one that I am kind of obsessed with is CoverGirl in, this is their classic color blush in the shade Soft Mink. I'm obsessed with this one. It's glowy, it's beautiful. It is just such a lovely formula. I tell you, CoverGirl is out there doing some things. So I'm going to clean off that same brush that I apply my bronzer with and take a little bit of this, the Soft Mink. It's very similar to Sophisticated Sable, but Sophisticated Sable is a bit harder to get your hands on right now. I don't know if it's being discontinued or what. You can find it on Amazon. Remind me and I'll link it for you because I know I'm not going to remember to do it. but I have found it on Amazon. And Sophisticated Staple is the Instant Cheekbones Trio. That is my favorite blush. But yeah, I just love this color because it's not an intrusive color. Like, it just kind of is so neutral. It works with whatever you want to put on your eyes. Like, it just kind of flows with it. And I'm doing just a soft kind of patting motion just to apply that so we're not disturbing anything. And I dust a little bit around through the socket, just a bit. Touch around the nose. And that has just a really nice sheen to it. That's not, it's not shimmery or anything. Like, it's not nearly as glowy as like the baked blushes from Milani, but it has a sheen. It's very, very pretty. I just like take a little bit on the forehead. I think that's just such a gorgeous, gorgeous blush. Like, there's a bit of rosiness in it, but it's also very, it's a dusty rose, but it's very neutral. And if you're a ghost like myself, don't want a blush that makes a statement, this is the one. It's just a very healthy, kind of natural flush without looking like you put a blush on. It has a bit of a browniness in it. I usually take my big puff, or my big powder brush, and just tap around. And that just kind of makes sure everything is flowing seamlessly into the skin. Ugh. I've got like sunscreen in my mouth. Do you ever do that? Like when you put your sunscreen on somehow or another, it gets in your mouth and then it gets like settles in the back of your tongue and you taste it. It's like you can't get the taste out of your mouth. All right. And then for the eyes, I have been really into a shimmer that goes all the way up, like past the crease, and any kind of just light shimmer. I've been all over that. Like these right here, these two from the Charlotte Tilbury Eyes to Mesmerize, or no, Smoky Eyes Are Forever palette. These two right here, Chef's Kiss, beautiful, love them. They give you this gorgeous like wet sheen. So I've been reaching a lot for those shades for like the kind of main color on the lid. The shimmers within this palette from ABH, the Nouveau, like this green and Lily, this peachy shade right here. I'm just all about those glowy, wet looking lids right now. And same for like these two from the Clean Color from CoverGirl. The shimmers in this, like the one that's a Pillow Talk dupe, I'm in love with. And Cool Berry. It gives me the Naked 3 vibes with Cool Berry. But it's just such a beautiful wet shimmer. And it's very pretty, very flattering on the skin. And today we're going to go with Nouveau here. And I want to use that shade Wings. Because I think Wings is such a pretty, it's a sagey green with a really strong kind of gold flip to it. And it's just very pretty. It just screams springtime, warmth, gorgeousness in my head. Also, like this purple right here in the inner corner would look great. Just an idea. I'm not going to do that, but I'm just letting you know. But yeah, I love that. And I use these peachy tones in the crease. And like maybe use any of these deeper shades as kind of a liner situation or to deepen up if I want a little more drama. But for today, we're not doing a ton of drama. We're just doing something pretty. So first, I'm going to take, I've got a hair attacking me. Where is a blending brush? Hello, blending brush. Here we go. So first I'm going to take the shade Fleur, which is this one right here. And we're going to take that into the socket line and crease area on a big fluffy brush. I've been using my Sigma E25 like crazy, but it is drying at the moment. And I just kind of take that and let that flow up into where I applied blush and bronzer and everything else, and just let that just be a wash of a peachy something right through there. So pretty. I just love the peachy tones in this palette. They're so perfect. This has to be, I think, my #1 ABH palette at this point. Let me grab a smaller brush. That fluffy brush is just a little too big for what I need. Alright, I'll take this one. It's a similar brush, but it's got a bit more of a pointy tip to it. This is a Sonia Kashuk pointed crease type brush. I'm going to go into Metro, which is the deeper of the peachy tones. This one right here. I'm going to focus that on the outer bit. And just let that blend out. Just keeping things very soft. I think definitely at this stage, Nouveau is kind of my #1 palette. I've been just wanting to grab Red and the Charlotte Tilbury Smoky Eyes are forever, like crazy. Like I'm fixated. Thinking about heading to Target this week and picking up that green palette from ColourPop. It's like sagey shades. Looks a bit like the Child palette. What did I do with my bigger blending brush now? I want to put it back. Taking that bigger one, just soften the edges up. Alright, same brush. I'm going to clean it off. Little pointy crease one. I'm going to take a bit of Paloma, the kind of a satin white shade in here. It has a glow to it. Hit just right here at the brow bone. And I'm also going to pop some of that in the inner corner. I'm going to go over to a kind of a flat brush. You don't have to use all these brushes to do this look. I like to use brushes. And I'm going to take the shade Wings, which from one angle looks pretty much like the outside of the palette. And then for some angles, it kind of goes a bit goldy sheen to it. There's a bit of a flip in there. It's just gorgeous, gorgeous shade. And I just really want to pile it all over the lid. I don't know why, I just have the urge to do this, and I feel like it's just kind of my springtime vibe. I'm going to start all the way in the inner corner, all the way out, and I'm going to come up past the fold in my lid. Like I'm really enjoying like topper shades right now for this. I just think that's such a pretty look. I'm really contemplating the Patrick Ta palettes because every time I see somebody use one, I'm just like, those look so nice and like right up my alley type of palette. I don't know why I just never got one. I was just kind of looking and I think, oh, it's such an and palette or such a basic palette. But then I see like some actual like really good swatches of it and like people using it and I'm like, oh, it's so much more nuanced than what it appears just in pictures. Which is the case for most palettes in my experience, like especially like ABH palettes, they're way more nuanced once you get them. And Huda palettes, way more nuance to them. I am not interested in her new matte palettes. Those little minis, nope. Those I have a million times over in my collection. And heard the creams in there were quite creasy. So that's not my vibe. See how pretty that is? It's just such a nice sheen. It's such a perfect springtime look. And I think this is definitely something you could wear, during the day, into the evening. A lot of versatility in it. You can go with your finger to apply this if you wanted to. Let me get the most payoff out of it. Ah, my hand cramped. But my plan for later today probably is going to be to kind of do a bit of a shop my stash and look around for products that I'm in the mood for right now. I'm ready for light, pretty spring makeup, but I'm also like want smoky eyes every day as well. I can't get away from my smoky eyes. We're going to take a little bit of Metro on this brush, clean it off, and I'm just going to take it right, just tuck it in there. And then I'm going to take the little pointy blending brush. I also like to do this look with Belle for a little more intensity, the bronzy shade in this palette. I'll take a little bit of Wings onto this, or whatever shimmer I'm using. I kind of just dust it. It just looks ethereal. Alright, and lower lash line, I'm going to take Metro. Just run it right there. I'm still kind of playing around with that, using the lower lash line as my guide for liner. I did it the other day, and I did the most beautiful, most perfect winged liner look. I'll insert a picture. That was just with eyeliner and a bit of a shimmer on the lid. It was one of the most beautiful looks. Like, I don't think I've ever done such perfect eyeliner. There'll be a reel showing how I did that look. It's either up or it's coming up, or a short rather, on here. Reel on Instagram. I post it in both places because I'm not creating separate content. I'm going to take just a bit of Fleur, the lighter peach. Put that under there. Okay, and we can take a touch of wings. Here. Every time I see wings, this eyeshadow, I think of either the show Wings, and didn't Paul McCartney have like a super group band called Wings in the 80s? I can't think of a song, but it's in my head that he had like a band in the 80s and it was called Wings. Maybe early 90s. I think it was the 80s though. Like, I can see like a video, like a music video in my head, but I cannot think of a song. Very nice. I don't know if the green shift is showing on camera, like the sage green, but it's just such a fresh glam look. You know what other palettes that I'm just dying for? The Lisa Eldridge ones. Ugh. Man, they are so freaking gorgeous. Like, I want all of them. I don't think I could pick one, so that's why I haven't bought any, because I want the whole collection. I want them all. So I'm just like, I get like shopping paralysis where I just can't, because I have to make a decision. Alright, I'm gonna take a little bit of this Huda eyeliner. This is her Creamy Coal in Very Brown. I'm taking just a small amount of this. Just right here. Boop. Just coming up in the corner of my eye. It's like a little flick. I always do it too big on the one side. I gotta even it out. I have a little smudgy brush, something just to soften. And I'm gonna take just a little bit more of this right here. Outer part of the lash. Alright. And I'm gonna curl my lashes really quickly, and then I'm gonna tight line my upper waterline with this as well. It's easier if I curl my lashes first. I've gotten like used to doing this, but it still like tickles every time. And I have to blink afterwards. Alright, whatever transfers down, transfers down. I'm not gonna fight it. And for mascara, I've been bouncing between three that I'm in love with. The Telescopic Lift from L'Oreal. Love that one. And recently I tried the Falsies Surreal. Whew, is a good one too. But for this look and for these softer looks, I've really been enjoying the original Telescopic. I have it in black brown, and it just looks so pretty. For something that's kind of soft and fluttery. I do want to get this in like a black brown shade too. I've kind of gotten into black brown mascara since I bought this one in that shade. I'm like, ooh, oh yeah. But this is a pretty mascara. It's not like the Telescopic Lift where you're getting like this crazy like length and volume, but it's pretty. It's a pretty everyday mascara, I think. It's got a little bit of softness to it, and the brush is super weird. Like, it's a skinny brush with like ridges with the comb bits, and then it's got like flat sides. And it's like a square. This one builds up really nicely. It's just a bit softer, I think. I think it's pretty. It's really pretty. See, it's just like a bit of a softer mascara. It's not gonna take over and make your lashes like touch your eyebrows or anything like the other two. But the wand you got really good like precision with. Like you can get in there, you get them little baby lashes. Yeah, that's nice. That looks nice. It's a bit of a drier formula, I would say. This is one you can kind of take your time with and really get in there. I think some little sweet wispy lashes would be pretty with this look. Or like the mascara system would look really nice with this. Just for like more of a natural full lash. I like this mascara. Like there's something about it I enjoy. It's a satisfying formula. Does that make sense? I'm gonna touch my brows up really quick because I have kind of messed them up as usual. But I can't do my makeup without doing my brows first. It is just a thing. So I'm just gonna take my Lift and Snatch pen in an espresso, which has been my color lately, that I think works for me. We're in here.
Turn the heat on.
Yeah, it's cold.
Yeah, it's in the 40s.
Jeez. I didn't realize it was that cold.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, we are back. I just zhuzhed the hair out, scrunched out the crunch because it's still kind of in the cast, letting it hang out and marinate in it. I'm having a pretty good curl day. Like, especially this side is looking real nice. Look at these. Look at these ringlets over there. There's a few ringlets in there. This side, it's alright. It's always different. And my hair is like naturally went to the middle part today, which almost never happens to where it looks good. So I'm just gonna go with it. Heck yeah. Sometimes the curls just don't want to lay right in the middle part. And I think it's because I did a different type of brush styling today. And yeah, I usually just don't style my hair with a part, period. I just let it kind of do what it wants to do and go where it wants to go. So anyway, where were we? Touched up the brows. I went and got breakfast, by the way. It's in a smoothie. Yeah, so we touched up the brows. So we'll go ahead and do some lipstick and then we'll see where things are. If I want to add some more blush or something like that, because I'm feeling pretty pale. And I feel like it's the eyeshadow. Everything's so light. I think I need a little more on the cheeks. So we might revisit that in a second. Maybe some more bronzer. I don't know. But let's go ahead and get the lippy on. I pulled, for lips, a couple of drugstore products. I'm going to grab a lip liner really quickly. We'll do BFF3 lightly from ColourPop. Just to kind of sketch things out. We'll take, we'll grab a little brush. It's a little lip brush here. Gonna soften that up. Alright, and for lipstick, I pulled out this L'Oreal one. This is one of their Nude Intense lipsticks, and this is a Nude Extreme. I think these are just so pretty, like, to look at. I mean, look at that. Look at that, just the design there. And these are kind of a very satin, juicy type of lipstick, and not overly pigmented. They're very nice. It's more of a traditional formula. Very slippy and thin. So just gonna take a little bit of this in the center there, and go back to my lip brush. I'm gonna do is like work it into that lip liner. It's kind of a softer application. I like the way these taste and like smell. They're like kind of rose, but sweet. It's nice. Like, I don't think everyone's gonna like it, but I like it. All right, and this looks, I like this lip as is, but I thought really nice kind of gloss to go with this would be e.l.f. Mocha Twist. Yeah, Mocha Twist in their plumping gloss. It's one of my favorite lip glosses. And I just think it's very pretty. And it's going to tone down the red tones just a touch. And how juicy does that look? I love it. Okay, now that we have the lip on, see where we are. I think we could use a tad more blush. And you know what? I am going to jump over to Luminoso. So I want a little kiss of some peach. Now that we got this lip color on, I think we could use a little warmth. So I'm just going to take a couple dabs of this and just hit right here. I'm gonna bring that around. Yeah, there we go. That's looking nice. I'll take a bit of the highlighting side from Buzzkill. This is from Melt. This is their Digital Dust Blush Duo in Buzzkill. It's kind of a glowy blush highlight situation. I'm just going to take this highlighty side and just a touch of that. Just kind of graze the cheeks with it. If I can find my highlighting brush. Just bring a little glow in. I'm kind of in between like a favorite highlighter right now. So I'm just bouncing around between a bunch of them. And the blushes I've been picking a lot of times have been very glowy. And I've been doing a lot of like floss filter and stuff like that, so I haven't really, I don't know, maybe not really skipped highlighter, but just haven't been excited about many where they're like important to the look, I guess. Okay, now I think the cheeks have a little bit more rosiness to them, or not rosiness, but color. I do like a lot of color on the cheeks, really, but just like it more focused back a little bit. And for a final little touch, I am going to take a bit of my number 7 Triple Action Lift Illuminate Powder. Tap down anywhere. You might need a little extra coverage. I know I always lose coverage on my chin. Snuggling Pumpkin. She leans against my chin. The nose is like, I'm kind of missing some foundation there. And then just take a bit of that in the T-zone just to really kind of set things down a bit. There is a hair stuck to my eyelash. Okay, got it. I'm gonna revisit a little bit of eyeliner now, just a touch. I always do something else. Like, I need a little more of this, a little more of that. Just gonna reinforce something. I like putting that little bit right there on the inner corner. It doesn't wear well, but it looks good initially. Alright, I think we are done with our look. What do you think? I kind of love it. I think there's a softness to it. Still a little glam. You could definitely go with a bolder lip and really amp it up, or something with a little more peach in it. You know, you can play with it. And yeah, I just really like this lip combo. I think it's nice. And yeah, glowy skin. Very fresh looking skin with some shiny bright eyes. I'm enjoying it. So yeah, let me know your thoughts down below, and let me know some of your favorite makeup for spring. I'm always here for some ideas, and yeah, love it. So I will see you guys in the next one. Stay safe and stay spooky. Bye now.